So did you hear about SpaceX yesterday?
Oh, they launched a rocket and it was great until it crashed on
Yeah.
landing.
I think maybe Elon was hoping for it to blow up because that's cool.
Honestly, you know what though? Like, because he is like a big child, it's just like a huge brain. I could definitely see him being like, now the first one, totally fine with it blowing up. I want it to blow up.
I mean, he's planning on making thousands of these things. So what's one tin can? You know? Did you actually see it?
I didn't see it. No, I just saw pictures of it.
Want to watch it with me?
Sure. It looks like a little bullet.
Kind of, but it's huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd say little, but it's
The day before it stopped the countdown at 1.3 seconds. So everybody was real happy when it actually took off, eh? It goes a little slow. It looks like it's just gently rising, eh? Not like you see these other rockets, but it's so huge that still could be fast.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So, I mean, you don't get a lot of information on what's happening because it's all tests, right?
Yeah.
So they're not telling you all the stuff that's actually happening. It's really nice. This is SpaceX's feed, so they were kind enough to share this. Everybody's really happy at this point that it's made it that far. And then I think at about 140 into the flight, one of the engines cuts off and kind of starts some fires in the bottom there.
Wow.
You can see the Texas coast there behind it disappearing. So right now it's going to happen soon, right? Yeah, there it goes. It wobbles a bit, and then one of the engines flares, and it goes off. So now it's flying on two engines, right? And then a fire starts in there, and then another one cuts out.
That's like wobbling too.
Well, they're supposed to wobble. They gimbal around so that it actually balances the rocket, right?
Oh, okay.
So they're shifting to try and keep it flying straight.
Side of the rocket is.
Yeah, that could be because it's leaning a little because it's missing one of the rockets, I think. So you're getting the condensation coming off the side.
It's going really far though.
Well, 12.5 kilometers, although nobody's really stated exactly how far it actually made, but the goal was to get 12.5 kilometers straight up. Or downrange, I guess, into the Gulf. Yeah, there goes the second one. But I'm not sure whether that was planned or not, right? So now the third engine is still trying to push it up there. It's funny, I was listening to YouTuber commenters when this was going on, and they were like, keep going, keep going, keep going. They're cheering it up. And you can see the number on the side of that engine, 42, and they're all like, 42 is our hero, keep going. And then, okay, so now what it does is you'll see the flaps start to move, and it actually flips over on its side. It's supposed to do that.
Yeah, because I think you were describing the landing process to me.
There was a big delay, like an hour and a half delay before this flight because somebody went into the control zone. Okay, so it's starting to tip over there now. So that's not really smoke. It's like a condensation trail kind of thing, right?
Yeah, it looks like something's coming out the side of it too, though.
The fins are moving now, so that it helps the aerodynamics of the thing. And you can see little engines firing at the nose there, so that it flips it over. Okay, so now it's actually coming back down, and it's using those fins to balance itself, right? So you're basically talking like a grain silo falling from the sky, right?
Yeah.
Now, right? It's controlling the descent, and you can see the fins kind of moving a little bit, right, to keep the balance and whatnot.
Wow.
The last little bit happens really quickly, though, right, as it gets close to the ground. You can see the horizon line going up on the one in the top right.
I want to know the speed at which that's coming towards the ground.
Well, the guys who were watching it said it looked like a blimp coming in. Like they were actually impressed at how slow it looked, but the thing's massive too, right? So
yeah.
It's the size of a blimp. It's some cloud cover there. I think that shot must be from the chase plane, but I'm not sure. That's from the ground. So then they're going to relight the engines, right? You see those back two engines relit, but the front one didn't. And there's the ground coming up at it, right? And it just, I guess the tank pressure wasn't enough to be able to give it enough. Yeah. To give it enough lift to keep it from hitting the ground too hard, and that's why it crashed. Right? I was like, okay, the smoke's clearing. What's left of it? What's left of it? And the smoke, when it finally clears, and I'm still looking. Where's the rocket? Where is it?
It's gone.
It's just gone. It's
Wow.
That is still pretty darn impressive though, right? Like to take that
Oh
thing
yeah.
up that far, flip it, do that whole maneuver, and then hit the dead center in that landing pad again. It's impressive.
Definitely. For the first like test flight, they've got to be feeling pretty good about themselves.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I think they even put on the screen Elon, or they basically say congratulations. And Elon says next to the moon, or next to Mars, I should say.
Yeah, I think what I saw it was just like, here we come, Mars. But yeah, just like the tiny bits.
There's really not a lot to it though when I mean it is huge, but most of it is just empty space because of the tanks, right? They fill all that space with fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So once the fuel is expended, there really isn't a whole lot left in there. They're big steel rings, right? So there you have it. Pretty wild, eh?
Yeah. Wow.
Some kids in their toys. Now we all can't wait to see SN9 go up because hopefully it'll do a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll have a 2 in 3 chance of actually making it.
Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just so amazed. I know that you can't really think of like new things being invented because otherwise you'd invent them. But I don't know. I always felt like I was born into like a generation that wasn't going to see a lot of progress because I feel like we just made a bunch of huge leaps before I was born. And then I was like, what is there left to make a huge jump on? And then it's stuff like this that I'm like, wow.
Well, I feel pretty privileged because, the beginning of my life was the whole Apollo program and the first men on the moon, right? And the advances are incredible since then. And my life might end with them finally getting to Mars.
Yeah.
You, in your lifetime, you might actually see a colonization of Mars, right? You might actually see a city there.
Yeah.
And like we were dreaming of that when I was a kid, right? And there were so many years when nothing happened.
I love the whole like the name and everything and Starship Team. Like it's all very much sci-fi TV shows when you were like a kid.
And those guys are working really hard, but I bet they all still feel like kids in a candy store.
Oh, absolutely. Like having someone like Elon come to you and be like, look, this is what I want to do. I want you to help make it happen. Like,
yeah. Well, and like you've got all these other companies trying to do this same kind of stuff, right? Like Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin, right, are trying to make rockets and landers and everything else just like Elon. But the big difference, I think, is that Elon is their chief engineer.
Yeah.
He understands this stuff. He's not just leading the company, he's helping to lead the progress and lead the actual engineering.
Which is definitely got to help with like cost because he also has a better kind of understanding of what they do need and what they don't need, what they can like kind of give up in lieu of something else.
Yeah,
which,
I
like,
think
yes, they can have
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, you can have like results on it, but ultimately it's their final decision. And
yeah, and if you don't really know what you're making a decision on, you're not necessarily going to make the best one, right?
Yeah.
When a test like that happens with Elon, he's looking at the data with everybody else. Oh yeah, it was this, or was it maybe this, and can we fix that? And what about if we do this, right?
Definitely.
Or Jeff is like, okay, what went wrong? And okay, how can you fix it? Okay, how much money do I have to give you?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't know as much about how Elon treats his employees as Jeff Bezos, but I feel like maybe Jeff needs to focus on making sure that the people he has here can survive before he tries to put them on another planet. Or maybe he's trying to put them on another planet so he can be like, you're not my problem anymore.
I did hear though that Elon pushed his employees pretty hard, but mostly because he pushes himself that hard, right? But I haven't heard that for a while, so I don't know. Maybe he's backed off a little bit, doing a little better in that regard. I know that center in Boca China where they launched that Starship from, that they've been making a lot of nice things like campgrounds and pool areas and things for the staff to be able to enjoy themselves down there too. So.
Well, because he's probably expecting them to stay at work like all the time, basically.
I'm still like, it's not like I worship the guy or anything, but I'm in awe. Like, yeah. Really, this guy is running so many companies, and he's splitting his engineering time between these companies and still managing to keep up with it all. It is incredible. Yeah.
Does he have a family?
Yeah. He has. I mean, he's had several wives, I guess, over the years, right?
I mean, it's probably like his attention is probably very hard to get.
I would think it would be difficult to be his spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember reading anything about his son's name?
Oh, wasn't it like, was he the one that named his kid like Kyle, but it was like a bunch of different, I don't know.
It's like XAE 12 or something like that.
Yeah, which is like pile or something.
I've never actually heard anybody pronounce it. So he's got 6 children, I guess. Nevada Alexander, born in 2002, but passed away 10 weeks later at 10 weeks. Wow.
Aw,
Then Griffin and Xavier, born in 2004, twins. And then triplets, Kai, Saxon, and Damien in
oh my gosh.
2006, because they were using IVF, right? In May 2020, he had the son with Grimes.
Claire Boucher is Grimes.
Okay. Oh,
This is a Canadian musician.
yeah. And the baby is A or X, and then the AE combined A12. The AE is pronounced Ash. So I guess that would be Xash.
X-Ash A12, yeah.
And I gather the A12 is after an airplane. And I'm not seeing that in this.
Yeah, he said it was pronounced X-Ash A12.
How would you like that name?
No, thank you. Is he going to go by X or Ash A12?
Or is he just going to decide to change his name?
Probably change his name. Jeez.
Must be nice to be a billionaire and be eccentric.